It'll be two gentlemen having a chat. I have my tea ready. I'm sure you have something
You have tea.
appropriate.
Oh, well, I have an ice pack.
Mm. Oh, speaking of, real quick for everyone who's listening, um, don't forget that you still have access to download a free app that we have created for you guys that gives you access to investing, wholesaling, real estate, alternative investments, and a slew of other great things that will help you build your assets. It will also help you gain cash flow. The app is on the Apple App Store as well as the Google Play Store. Just type in Asset Builders Club. That's it.
Wow. You know what? Hey, I'm Hank. Here's the deal. You just offered a lifeline, okay, to everyone who's listening. You offered a lifeline, and there are those who will totally ignore it. There are those who will question why you would give them something. There are those who will start to look at it, get halfway through, and says, this isn't worth it." There are those who will go all the way through, say yes, start the process, and then drop out because they don't understand value, they don't understand opportunity.
Woo!
And those are the things that people are always looking for. Man, how can I get ahead? I wish. Boy, if only.
Woo!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You sent
Woo!
me there. You sent me there.
So you're touching on something that we're basically going to discuss today,
Oh,
which is
really?
along the lines of opportunity.
Wow.
Opportunity.
Wow.
You know what, Hank? We are in a economy. First off, let me say this: no one person, at least right that I know of right now, outside of Jesus, no one person can control the economy as a whole.
Oh, well, and you're right. And you remember I was talking about this group called Black Rock,
Mm-hmm.
and you asked me if it was Black Stone, and I said
Blackstone,
no.
yeah.
And I said that they have a finger, a foot, a toe, a nose in almost every major industry that you can think of. They own shares. But you and I know that the shares that they own are not common shares.
No, sir.
These are preferred shares. So no matter what happens, they're going to get paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to
Mm.
get their money back, right? Somebody say, hey, I'm going to file bankruptcy. They're going to get their money back. They're the first at the trough. So I say that to say, here's one of the big dogs, one of the big dogs, going back to what you said. And that big dog has fingers in over 100 other major businesses. And why would he do that?
But Hank, wouldn't that mean that they are heavily invested in what's called alternative investments?
I look at it from two perspectives. The first goes back to what you said. Nobody has the capacity to do it all, no matter how big they are. And I think the richest man in the U.S. has been feeling the sting of that over the last 3 weeks. So they spread across not just the companies that they deal with may be on the stock market, but they're dealing in manufacturing, they're doing in consumer goods, they're dealing in oil, they're doing in technology.
Just put a comment.
Oh, okay. They're dealing in technology. They're dealing in all these other industries to buttress what they're doing and fortify their financial position. So, and I'm sitting back thinking, and folk like us, we constantly are on a one horse train.
One, one.
You're
But why
lucky if
is
you
that though?
because we don't know opportunity.
We don't know opportunity. I want to start this off with a quote. So there's a quote by a guy named Henry J. Kaiser. And to be honest with you guys, for a while I thought a certain president said this, and obviously I was wrong. But the quote goes like this. It says, opportunity is merely opportunity is merely difficulties in work clothes.
I like that.
Right? Opportunity is merely difficulties in work clothes. So, in other words, for the ladies who are listening, it will be the equivalent of you seeing a man um, who is kind of scruffy, but you're like, you know what? That young man, he has potential. Maybe,
Something about
you
him.
know, something about him.
Something about, yeah, I don't know what it is, but something about him.
If we can get
Yeah,
him a haircut, maybe get him a
yeah.
nice suit, build his
Shave,
confidence a little
yeah,
bit.
a
Yeah,
little bath,
clean
yeah,
shave. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely a bath.
definitely a
We
bath,
might
yeah.
be able, to make him into something. So, in other words, that is the metaphor that they're using for opportunity.
Hmm.
So when most of us see opportunity, we see opportunity in work clothing. We see them with soot on their face, or just a
Hmm.
coal miner, right?
Hmm.
Dingy clothes, overall.
Well, how do I say this? It's in work clothes, but many people don't want to do the work. They look at this guy, okay, who's willing to put in the work to get from where he is to where he wants to be, and he's okay with it. Because I was just sitting here said, at the end of the day, success is being able to look at yourself in the mirror and feel good about the choices you've made. I say that to say, I can remember years ago, and I may have said this on some other tape, was working with some people because people are often looking at cost versus value. What what is it going to take? And they immediately expect to have this. They look at things with rose colored glasses. And I'll ask the audience, if I paid you $50,000 a year, would you shovel horse manure? And most people just turned up their nose and they just blew me off. But a lot of people who are listening are making $10, $12 an hour, putting in 8, 10 hours a week. Okay. And they're owned by the man. And they're making 40. And this horse manure, it's a 2 hour day job. And they'll still say what, Leland?
Say heck no. There's no
Heck
way.
no. Man, that's too smelly. You know. But again, because I think we have been trained to discount things because of perception.
Hank, are we discounting things based on effort?
No, Nate, I would say no, because sometimes people will just say no only because it's not the right color, it's not the right shape, it's not the right height. Okay, just say, oh man, I don't want to do that.
Hank,
Okay.
how different do you think life could be if a person were to truly go after what they wanted for, I don't know, say 90 days or maybe even 180 days, so 6 months? If a person just truly focused on going after what they really wanted
Mm-hmm.
for 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
how impactful could that be? How impactful could that really be?
It will truly be life changing. However, because we're creatures of habit and because we got too much junk in our trunk, this opportunity may not fit in an already overpacked suitcase. I'm talking about life.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, wait
You
a second,
remember,
Hank. Hold on. You're talking about a suitcase. I'm talking about workman clothes, right, and overalls.
I understand.
Break that down for us in reference to this overpacked suitcase. What is that really saying?
It says that we've, let me, I can use myself as an example because that's the only person I really know. I was transitioning from the military, getting ready to go into corporate America, and it had taken me almost a year to find a job. I was presented an opportunity,
Okay.
and I realized that if I did the work, it would work. However, to get in the right mindset for getting it done, I had to throw some junk out of my trunk. Let me help you.
Okay.
Married with 2 kids, we threw away the TV. I stopped subscribing to the daily newspaper, monthly U.S. News and World Report,
Okay.
Sports Illustrated. I stopped playing racquetball. I got off a bowling team. I may have done a few other things. What I'm saying is, I had to clear space that would give me time to devote to this new opportunity. And because of that new opportunity, I left corporate America and I haven't gone back. Now, there were those who thought I was crazy, and they see me today and man, like, man, hey, how you doing? You still doing that thing? I don't know what that thing is because to me it's free. What I have learned to try to live by the idea of whatever it takes, as long as it's legal and it's not degrading, whatever it takes. And I say that because I was reading an article and it says what you need to know about opportunity. I don't know whether you can see it, but this is a little thing where someone goes out and they were talking about a penny. A penny. How much effort does it take for you to squat down, bend over, kneel down to pick up a penny? Not much. And there are those who just walk away from them. And if they go to the store and they get 4 pennies rather than, they get a nickel and 4 pennies rather than 5 pennies rather than a dime. They throw away the 4 pennies. I'm 5 pennies. Yeah, they throw them away because they don't see value in pennies. But please, people, I want you to pay attention to this one. There are 8 billion people in the world. 8 billion people in the world. How much money would you have if everyone in the world threw you a stinking penny? But you've got too much pride. You won't bend down and pick it up because you don't see the value. And Leland, I say that to say sometimes people look at cost versus value.
Yeah.
They look at opportunity as a dirty word because it's beneath their dignity. I got a degree in this, I got a degree in that, I got a degree in this, and I'm sit back and think about it. There are certain people, if you've got a degree in certain areas, and if you can't find a job in that area, you got two choices.
Yeah.
Sit on your can or adapt.
Hank, it's hard for some people. This is what people tell me. It's hard to adapt. I'll just tell you exactly what someone said to me last week. They said, Leland, I know the thing you're telling me to do works, but my fear keeps me from doing it.
Hmm. That's where a lot of us are.
And when someone tells me that, the only thing I can think of is the desire of your reason for actually wanting to do the thing
Hmm.
is not strong enough. I guess. Okay, put it better. Um, if I am an athlete that runs the hurdles, I don't know what that's called. I don't know if that's like 100 meter or whatever, but I have hurdles.
200, 400, maybe, yeah, 400.
So
Yep.
let's say it's 200.
Hmm.
And if I focus on the actual hurdles in front of me, I'm
Hmm.
not going to do well.
Hmm.
If I think too much about the finish line, I'm still not going to do that well.
Hmm.
I'm going to trip over the hurdles. I'm going to be rushing through
You're gonna lose your rhythm.
or lose my.
Yeah.
That's it. And so the whole thing would be to find a healthy enough balance to where I can have a rhythm. And
Now,
I want to say this just real quick, because
uh-huh,
just,
uh-huh.
just so you guys, just so everyone knows, these conversations between Hank and I, these are not scripted conversations.
Uh,
Like these are truly, I mean, these things are just
Off
off
the
the cuff.
cuff.
Seriously.
Off
So,
off the cuff.
so
But
in all things, I have to be able to find a rhythm based on
hmm
my ability. So I can't say to Bob, who has been sleeping in every day until 11 o'clock
hmm
since he was 30 years old, and let's say he's 60, it's gonna be pretty difficult for me to tell Bob, like, hey man, you want to be successful,
hmm
you gotta wake up at 7. You gotta wake up at 6. You gotta wake up at 5.
hmm
When Bob he's had a rhythm, he's had a trait, he's had a habit, he's had a whatever else you want to call it,
hmm
of going to bed at, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning,
hmm
right? But
hmm
I could say, Bob, when you do wake up at 11 at your normal time at 11 o'clock, and when you are, going to brush your teeth, right, wash your face after you get out the bed, if you could, Bob, add to your existing rhythm a few small actions
hmm
that will change, that will slowly begin to change your trajectory. How could that
hmm
work? So, if Bob goes to brush his teeth when he wakes up, maybe as he's brushing his teeth, what if he could play affirmations, words that could affirm him on
Wow.
why he's important, or why he's successful? It doesn't necessarily cost any extra effort. Like he could, I don't know, go on his phone and actually play affirmations
Hmm.
as he's brushing his teeth. So it's not taking away from anything he's doing. It's as he's
Hmm.
brushing his teeth.
Hmm.
And it's like, what's the rhythm that you're already working with? And is it possible to squeeze one or two things in there? Because, granted, you know, um, if you only did 10 push-ups a day, it's not going to necessarily, like, you're not going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Hmm.
But it would begin to give you a better rhythm. You're going to get endorphins, your blood's going to be flowing. And it's a small step that after a while, you might begin to look forward to doing those 10 push ups a day. So
hmm
much so that you might begin to internally crave to do 20 push ups.
You know, I'm sitting here on pins and needles, and I say that because we're in an environment where we are helping people to have affirmations. And you use the analogy about a runner, a track star, track and field star, and the most talented of those athletes have a coach who has a vested interest in their success, but the coach is not running. They are better athletes than the coach. But the coach is able to detect little deviations, little hiccups in your stride, in your process, in what have you. And the coach is saying, listen, Leland, between the hurdles, I want you to focus on taking 9 steps rather than 10, or 13 steps versus 12, or 12 versus 13. I want you to lengthen your stride a little bit. You don't have to run any faster. Lengthen your stride. And I just want you to continue to lengthen your stride so that at the exact moment, you don't have to think about the hurdle. It becomes part of your stride. Leland, I want you to learn that if you find yourself too close to the hurdle and you normally use your lead leg, your right leg is your lead leg. If you're too close, use your left, switch legs. So we've got a program that helps people to help themselves.
It's
And I,
but it's but
uh-huh,
hey, in your example, there's small little tweaks.
yes.
It can be something as simple as, hey, if you go ahead and call these 5 people of these names that we give you, I'm gonna,
Mm-hmm,
Hank or myself we're gonna listen to your calls.
mm-hmm,
The next when we're gonna give you feedback and say, hey, could it be that the next time you have your call, when you present the offer or when you present that question, try waiting 5 more seconds.
mm-hmm.
Try waiting just 5 more seconds and be receptive to whatever the answer is from the prospective seller. Small tweaks, small tweaks. Or next
Uh-huh.
time, before you even mention the offer, tell the seller, hey, listen, I'm not exactly sure what we can or can't do. What's the best email that I can use
Mm,
so that
mm,
I can
mm.
send you the offer after we've ran our calculations? You may already have your offer, but what you don't have is you don't have their email address. You don't have a way to follow up with them.
Mhm,
If you know that your offer is going to be lower anyway, why not have
mhm.
a way to follow up with them?
Wow.
Small tweak,
Yeah.
big change.
Well, some come into the house and they're focusing on ability, not realizing that we're going to give them, we're going to do hand holding to help them to learn all of the strategies and techniques that they need to, but there will be those who will get involved and come up with an excuse that it's too hard,
Yeah.
or they will based on past experiences, they will say I'm not good enough. And then somewhere along the line, for whatever mindset that they have, they go, I really don't want to do this anymore.
That's real. Yeah. But you know what? When someone quits,
It's sad, but go ahead.
it's sad, but I applaud the person. Like internally, I applaud them. When someone quits,
Help me with that, please.
because at least they can be honest enough and say they don't want it that bad.
But they don't say anything. They just leave.
Yeah, because
You know,
we're taught we're taught that actions, right? That actions speak
yeah.
louder than words. Yeah.
Mhm,
So if someone gives up on themselves,
mhm.
just think. All right, we'll look at this from we'll take the business way out of it, and we'll just look at it from, I don't know, a superhero movie. Okay.
Or a superhero. I got a, you talking a movie. I'm gonna tell you the superhero. But go ahead. It's not a movie. That's a person.
Well, a person. Okay. It would be
No,
the
no. You tell yours. I got one.
okay. Okay. So for my example, it would be the equivalent of Robin reaching out to Batman saying, "Hey, I want to be a vigilante. I want to fight this crime that's in Gotham. This crime is rampant. It's horrible. I want to do something about it. And he's like, cool. Let's begin training.
Mhm.
And then 2 weeks into training, Robin quits. Like Robin sneaks out the mansion, sneaks out the Bat Cave, and he's walking along the street. And the good thing about that is when it was all said and done, if those are the actions of Robin, that validates that Robin never truly wanted the thing. It
Wow.
wasn't a strong enough. It was Robin didn't want the thing. Robin didn't really want to save anybody's life. Maybe he just likes the way he looks in tights. But Robin did not truly. He didn't truly want to do it. So here's what I'm getting at. The crime, the rampant of Gotham is the metaphor for those who are listening. It is the metaphor of poverty. You are in a position where you look to your left, you look to your right, and and look, you don't have to be in poverty to not want it to touch you. You don't have to be in poverty not wanting to touch you. You could hear from the economy. You could hear from I don't know the crazy news stations about the fear mongering that they're pressing out to people about fear, 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 and the sky falling. And you may have family and friends that are maybe in a worse situation, and you have a true bleeding heart to want to help them. You are given the opportunity to be that vigilante, metaphorically, to help fight that poverty or quote unquote that fight the crime, to be that beacon of hope for someone else. You tell me that, you tell Hank that, you tell Hank, hey, the reason I want to go ahead and join this program is because, you know, my uncle, metaphorically, hey, my uncle has cancer and he needs $50,000 additional that his insurance just won't cover. St. Jude's, they're tapped out and blah blah. And I believe that if I start this opportunity with Hank, I believe that within the next 6 months I can earn $50,000. Now you tell us that that's your reason. 3 weeks in,
they're gone.
3 weeks in,
it's not funny. I'm sorry. I'm
you
sorry.
got your knapsack.
I'm sorry.
You got your knapsack over your shoulder.
Yeah.
You walk. You're walking on the side of the road.
Man, it's too hard. My uncle gonna die.
And then you look, and then I say, well, what about Uncle Bob? He say, honestly, he's not even my favorite uncle. And to be real, I'm like, yeah, tell me the truth now, right? First off, he's not really my favorite uncle. Plus, now I think about it, I got two more on my mama's side, and
I still got one.
I still got one. So Uncle Bob, he'd be all right.
It is because I've had hiccups in my life. Okay,
as have I.
I've been down and out, but I ran across a quote from somebody that helped to put my life in some degree of perspective. You may know who this is, people, but I'm just going to read it. I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over and over again in life. And that is why I succeeded. That's Michael Jordan. He's the GOAT. And I say that is because, again, if you know his story, he was kicked off his high school basketball team. He wasn't good enough.
He wasn't good enough. Wasn't up to snuff.
But he was determined enough that we write and talk about him today, and he's a billionaire. I started saying multi, but I don't know how many billions. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And Leland, and again, we remember earlier I said cost versus value.
Why is that even a comparison?
Well, because I think it's a comparison because the first thing people hear is, man, that costs X number of dollars. Oh, that's too much. Oh man, that's going to take too long. We got some smart people listening out here, and I'm getting ready to shut mine down. First, I'm going to do two things. If you haven't considered how artificial intelligence and robotics will be are impacting and will continue to impact your life, I will say do some research. Point one. If you're in the areas of healthcare, customer service, banking, financial services or insurance, logistics, retail, cybersecurity, transportation, and a few others, you best put your head to the grindstone, because those industries are losing jobs hand over fist. That's point one. Point two, and you need to seize opportunity. You can't wait until, like some of those people that were at Twitter a couple weeks ago, when the big man came in and said, "Hey, you out of job, you out of job, you out of job, you out of job." Now these people were not making $10 an hour; they were making hundreds of $1,000s a year.
Yeah.
Now, some of them are well connected, so they could leave because someone had been looking at them for a while. And I just pick up the phone, "Hey, Leland, look, man, hey, I don't know whether you heard the news, but hey, look, man, I just lost my job at 20. Hey, come on over. Know somebody, connections, right?
Some of them.
Some of them, right? Not all of them. Some of them.
Yeah.
But the point I wanted to make is this, because we started to think about opportunity, and we talked yesterday about greed quotient or value. You remember I said cost versus value. Some years ago, someone presented me with something when I was down and out, and he said, "Hank," he said, "I got a proposition for you." So people, I have a proposition for you. We will pay you $1 million today, or 1 penny doubled every day for 30 days. Which will you take? And I'll just say this: if you choose too soon, you will lose a lot, because you don't understand value. You don't understand compounding. You don't understand compound interest. You don't understand life, because your mindset is here and now.
Ooh. Ooh.
Here,
Hey.
here and now. Okay.
Hey.
Yes, sir. So I would just say, do the math. Just sit there at your computer, wherever you are, and go
And double the pennies.
go 1, then 1 plus 1. You can't do 1 times 1. You got to do 1 plus 1. After that, it's now 2 times
2 times 1, or 2 plus 2.
That's right. Okay. But if 30 days won't blow your mind, do it for 40 days. Okay?
I want to add something to that. Everyone who's listening, everyone who's on the world, everyone who's in the world, on the earth, believes that they are more valuable than a penny. Can we agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And let's also pretend that, just as that penny could, because basically that penny is a metaphor of your true effort and hard work. It builds on itself every day.
Mm-hmm.
But what some people do is they will
throw it away.
they would no. Some people will actually work hard on Monday.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Work
Here we
hard
go.
on Tuesday. Work hard on Wednesday. Work hard on Thursday.
Oh, Lord.
And then look back on the 4 pennies, or the 4 phases of pennies that have accumulated, and
Mm-hmm.
say, "Shit, this taking too long.
Mm, mm, mm,
It's taking too long."
mm, mm, mm.
Not knowing that it's meant to compound.
Mm-hmm.
If it compounds and you're not trying to basically withdraw from the 4 days immediately, it creates wealth. And there's an awesome uh, Warren Buffett says this. Oops, sorry. He says, let me give it for you guys. He says, someone today is sitting under the shade because someone else planted a tree a long time.
Oh Lord, have
A
mercy.
tree, a seed has a process.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not an immediate. It doesn't sprout up immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us have the opportunity, the God-given opportunity, right now to be that sower or that planter of a seed, so that
Mm-hmm.
the generation behind you can rest under that tree. That tree that is full of branches. It's a big oak tree that is able to house other animals and maybe even produce fruit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some of us instead get a bag of seed, Hank. Look
Mm-hmm.
at the bag of seed and say, I could put this in the ground. I could dig a hole. I could water that and till it and make sure the fertilizer is good. I could do that. Or I could metaphorically, I could make popcorn.
Eating the seed.
I could go ahead and eat this. And you know what? Matter of fact, if I eat this seed real quick, I put some paprika on it and some seasoned salt and squeeze a head of lemon on it and mix it around real good. Boy, is that gonna fill me up tonight.
And some will do that.
And some and,
Some
hey,
and some will do that.
but tomorrow they
They, s-
go, well,
they
daggone,
starve. No. The next season, they next screwed. The next season they're screwed. I read a quote and it says, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago," and it says the second best time to plant a tree is right now. Right now. So there's still time for you. You say, "Well, I'm too old, man. I may not be around for 20 years." Well, hell, you may not be around tomorrow. What that got to do with doing stuff? So if you sit back and think about where, how long you think you're going to live, or what you think you're going to have, or what have you, just do it. If not for you, hopefully there's a face somewhere around that's not a dog or a cat or a pet. It's a human being. I'm not an anti-pet lover. My son has an American bully. I love him to death, but he's a
he's
dog.
so cute. He's so cute, guys.
He
Just
is
so
cute, but he's a dog. I'll do a lot for him, but
yeah.
I'm not going to do more for him than did for I will for my son. So the seeds that I'm planting that you talked about, Leland, no longer for me. My
Mhm.
my 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 pantry, my cupboard, my storeroom is full.
Yeah. We can't
And
take it
when
with
I
us anymore.
leave, the opportunity for my son, my daughter, my grand, for those that I leave, they will benefit from my shoveling of manure. So my point to you is, I hope that there is somebody in your life other than you that's important enough that, not that you're willing to, that you will stick with the grind, make those steps, and soon you'll be running the hurdles with ease.
Yeah.
Soon your fields will be filled with produce. As you do that, your mind will start to expand. You will start to explore. You will create relationships. They'll bring you on. All of a sudden, the compounding is not always money. I'm at the table today because there was a guy that I knew who introduced me to another guy who introduced me to Leland, and here I am. And because of Leland, we've met a few other folk. And again, we are continuingly enriching one another's lives. So if you're going to be selfish and try to do it all yourself and think that you are better than all these other people that are trying to be of value to you, shame on you.
Yeah.
You need to get a checkup from the neck up.
That's sad.
Well, but tell me I'm wrong.
No, sir. No, sir. You're
And
not.
in
You're not
fact,
wrong.
the first guy died.
Mhm.
The second guy I haven't seen in 4 years.
It's as if he died as well.
Absolutely.
Metaphorical.
Would touch bases, wouldn't even return phone calls, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell did I do to him? And God said, don't worry about him. You know, that's the seed that fell on the rocks. That's the seed that the bird ate. You still got seed. Keep on planting. And Leland, out of the goodness of his heart, said, hey, man, let's have coffee. I need to talk to you about something. That was 2 years ago. This month, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. 2 years ago. And that was also during the time where my great grandmother had just passed away.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But why would I know? Why would I want to know? You didn't come there to lament.
No. But it was anyway, so it was refreshing for me. And I guess and I was like, man, this is awesome. I get to meet with someone else who has wisdom. And but here's the thing. That was there was an initial relationship with the individual that Hank and I are talking about, but it was about compounding. But as long as someone's willing to be consistent,
that's the part. Consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, which is fine. Like
that's right.
You can be consistently inconsistent, and I'm cool with it because at least I know that you have the ability.
Hush now, or the desire
enough to at least take that initial action. There are some of us, man, who couldn't be even consistently inconsistent to save our lives
and blame others.
I had one lady who she made a lot of excuses, and she would show up for meetings and this is what I believe. I believe she would show up for meetings just to hear about the success of her colleagues. And when it was her turn to share what she had been up to, it was always something that so let's say we had meetings on Mondays. It was always activity that she wouldn't do until Friday at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening.
Too late.
Mm-hmm. And I would say to her, well, was that the only call you made?
Or the only time you had to make a call?
Was that the only? And it was always, it's always some other excuse.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say to her, if you want the same results or better than everyone else that is doing the thing, the only difference between you and them is that they are willing to take a few more at-bats. They're willing to take a few more free throws. They're willing to take a few more jump shots than what you're given. You cannot expect that because you made one phone call out of 7 days that you can't expect that you are entitled to success. I want to share something with you, Hank, real quick before we get off. We're going way over, but this is my personal belief on success.
Okay, all right, sir, bring it to me.
I believe this is what Leland Baptist believes. This has nothing to do with business. This is what Leland believes. Okay, I believe that all things first are spirit. I believe that in that wisdom is a spirit, and therefore success is a spirit. Because I'm an avid reader of the Bible, there's a few chapters within Proverbs that talks about wisdom being a woman, and that she loves those who seek her, and then those who seek her so much, she wants to basically shower them with opportunities or with gifts or with favor. Right?
That's right. I love favor.
Me too. I love that. So now here's the thing that's really crazy. What if wisdom is a spirit? What if success is a spirit? And let's be more specific. What if the spirit of real estate success. Like, what if that was a spirit?
Mm.
And that spirit wanted to shower with gifts the person who diligently sought after, who diligently fell in love with the craft, who diligently fell in love with giving analysis, who diligently fell in love with presenting, raising money in front of people, who diligently really had a knack, a true desire, an itch, so to speak, to flip houses or whatever it was, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, why in the hell would someone think that they could talk to, let's say it's a, let's give it a persona right now. Let's say let's say that spirit of success for real estate is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Why in the world would you think that you could speak with that woman one time and you think
Bring it
she gonna,
on. Bring it.
give you everything? Come on, man. That is
Oh.
ridiculous. That would be the equivalent. That would be the equivalent of an NBA player freshly drafted. Matter of fact, actually, we could use an example of a Steph Curry. That could be an NBA player who's drafted low in the ranks.
Mm-hmm. Discounted early.
Discounted, yeah, super discounted early.
And often, even today.
Yeah. But chose to fall in love with the craft of the sport so much that that person's willing to consistently work on themselves, the process, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone who doesn't put in the work, why would the person who doesn't put in the work expect to have the same result?
Well, some of them think they're bigger. I'm 6'10". Oh, he's only 5. I mean, he's only 6'2", 6'3". I can take him. It's called comparison.
Comparison, but it's silly.
I know. I was
Because
going to say the idiocy of comparison.
because absolutely, because at the end of the day, what you are basically telling yourself and everyone else is you are basically saying, "Hey, Bob, despite the fact that you're diligent in what you do, despite the fact that you prepare, despite the fact that you give a daggone,
Mm-hmm.
okay, despite the fact of all that stuff, for some reason, I think in my mind that I'm entitled to receive, take,
Ooh.
get, and behold more than what you are."
Entitlement. Ooh, that's a
Entitlement.
nasty word. We're going to talk about entitlement the next time around.
We
We're going to
have
talk
to
about,
because
yes, you brought it up.
one thing real quick, Hangouts, and I'll say this, listen, seriously, this last thing.
Yeah.
Entitlement is an issue when someone tells you that they're doing what they're doing for generational wealth, but it hurts too much in the
present.
in the present
Mm-hmm.
for them to actually want to do it.
Yeah.
So that means that you feel as though you're entitled to have it easy, but not so that quote unquote generation that you're working for to have it easy.
Wow. Oh, okay. We're gonna have to
That's
talk
it.
about that. We're gonna have to talk about that. Hey, people. I hope we're making sense to you. But aside from that, I hope we're making a difference. I believe in you. I really believe that if you put forth the effort, you can learn to do anything. I figure that if they can teach a dog or a horse or a monkey or a chicken to count, you're smarter than they are. If we've got a syllabus, we've got a strategy, we've got a plan, we've got everything that you need to become successful at wholesaling real estate.
Yeah.
You said, well, I don't want to do that. Tell me something better.
Yeah.
If you've got something better than we're presenting, let us know. I'll look at it. Good. I look at opportunity. I won't say, man, I'm riding this horse. Okay, like fine, but don't expect me to get off my horse when the horse that you bring to the race is a donkey. Because a donkey that wins the Kentucky Derby is still a donkey.
Still a donkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be doing this comparison with you. I'm just going to analyze. I'm going to be upfront, you know. And I don't, Leland, did I play hard to get?
I don't think so. Oh yeah. Well, just FYI, there was some consistency there. I put it that way. I don't recall all the details.
I'm just happy. Thank you so much for listening to us. You know, um, send us something to let us know that you either like what it is that we're doing, or if there's something you want to learn a little bit more about, and you want to hear about it from the streets of Indianapolis.
Let us
Lay it
know.
on us.
We'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey,